All right. So thank you very much once again for your patience and for the time that you're spending with us. Once again, this is day three, final day of the African Youth Empowerment Summit, a summit that is a culmination of the great minds of the young people of Africa. It's been an amazing 2 days so far, 2 days of proper interaction, of listening to amazing presentations from different people, bringing different perspectives on issues relating the people of Africa and people of African descent concerning continental integration. We've had conversations on governance, on leadership development. We had conversations around security, peace and security systems in Africa. And then yesterday, we also had great conversations around the digital economy, and then also had conversations around technology and climate change and environmental action and climate justice and financing as well. And today we are going to be delving into very important conversations. And I cannot wait to listen to today's interactions because we have very amazing people who are going to be speaking today. I have the likes of Mr. Henry Ohanga, who is widely known as Octopizzo. We have Mr. John Linus, the chairperson of the UNESCO Youth Forum. He's going to be here as well. We have Mr. Eugene Oponyo. We have Mr. Lawrence Muli, and we have Mr. Andati Morris and Mr. Benjamin Pascal, who are going to be shedding light on very, very important discussions here today. If you're here and you're on the call with us, remember to share the link with some of your friends as well, YouTube link as well, just so that they can also log in and watch us live on YouTube. Trust me, today's session is going to be amazing because of the lineup of speakers that we have. Very top speakers who are going to be giving us nothing but the best of presentations. I cannot wait to listen to the wealth of knowledge that are going to be coming. And I know that you cannot as well wait for what is about to happen. And so today's conversation would lead us, the morning session is going to be leading us through youth voices in civic engagement, media, agriculture, and also cultural influence. And we are talking about Aspiration 5 of, when we talk about cultural influence, we're talking about Aspiration 5 of the African Union Agenda, which talks about cultural identity and diversity. And today, we're going to be delving into how Africans can diversify their culture to be one. And so I'm going to delve straight into the introduction of the first speaker, who is going to be taking us for this session. And this speaker is very amazing speaker. Let me see if we have him here. Good. All right. So our first speaker today is going to be no other person but the chairperson of the UNESCO Youth Forum Kenya. He's a passionate champion of youth inclusion in cultural diplomacy, education, and global dialogue. Through his leadership at the UNESCO Youth Forum Kenya, he has been able to galvanize and mobilize the young people across the country to engage meaningfully in heritage preservation, intercultural exchange, and the advancement of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. His work reflects a deep belief in the power of culture, education, and identity as tools for peace building and sustainable development. As a strong voice for African youth on international platforms, he continues to drive conversations that position young people as co-creators for a better and united world. Today, he's going to be touching on cultural diplomacy and youth-led global advocacy in UNESCO platforms. And trust me, he has been extremely helpful to the convening of this summit. And ladies and gentlemen, without any further wasting of time, help me welcome here on stage a venerable leader, distinguished in all his ways, one whom I respect a lot, Mr. John Linus.
Yes, here is me. Yes, thanks everyone, and good morning to everyone today who has joined the conversation. Hope I'm loud and audible. Can somebody confirm for me if you are
Yes,
able
you
to
are.
hear me? Yeah, fine, thank you. So, good morning, everyone. As I've been introduced, my name is John Linus Otieno, and I'm honored to serve as the chairperson of UNESCO Youth Forum and also the founder of Green World Youth, a movement that champions environmental conservation, youth empowerment across Africa and the world. So that is basic about me. And today we come together as a diverse community, united by purpose and grounded in rich cultural identity and unique backgrounds. So I'm really happy for the convener of these things for bringing us this diverse group of people to share, learn, and see what we can do together. So this diversity is not a weakness; it is our strength. It is what makes Africa vibrant, what makes Africa creative, and what makes Africa resilient. So thanks very much. I want to start by sincerely thanking each one of us, each one of you, who has created time to join this important conversation. Your presence is not just a show of interest. It is an act of commitment to learn, engage, and also to promote growth, both economic growth and through learning you get to skill yourself in the way of get yourself way of how you can survive. And just let me go straight to introduce the concept of cultural diplomacy. And I feel that let me first, before going to the concept of diplomacy, let me first applaud all young people across Africa, across our beautiful continent, who are doing amazing work in line with policy, art, innovation, advocacy, climate action, and many other spaces. I think you are not just doing something small. You are heartbeat of our generation. Your energy, your voice, and your ideas matters a lot. And I really applaud you. I really advise us to keep up with the good work and make sure that no one is left behind. So let me just share briefly about cultural diplomacy. And I'll define it like this, that it is the cultural exchange, shared value, heritage, and dialogue to bring people together, bridge people. It is a bridge between people and communities, and not only communities, nations. So it is about using our identity as using our identity not as a wall, but as a to global understanding. You share your value, I share my value, then I get to understand what you're good at, what I'm good at, and what we can do together. So as young Africans, we must harness our let me talk about music, art, storytelling, and even community values as a powerful tool for diplomacy and peace building. So let me now dwell into a little bit about UNESCO. I know a number of people might assume that all of us know about UNESCO, but let me just give a brief information about UNESCO. So UNESCO is the intellectual body of UN, is the United Nations educational, scientific, and cultural organization. So UNESCO mission is to build peace in mind of the people through one, international cooperation in education. Education entails from early childhood education, secondary education, lifelong learning, all issues around education. Then another issue is science, both human and social science and natural science, issues around ethics in AI, and all these issues around human science. The other area of competence of UNESCO is culture. We have to understand that we have different cultures, and also we have both tangible and intangible cultural heritage, a number of things about culture. So UNESCO also deals in area of culture. Another very important area where of competence of UNESCO is communication. As people from different parts of the world, different parts of the continent, what unites us is we unite through communication, and we amplify, and we UNESCO try to create push for meaningful communication and safe communication. So that is one area of competence for UNESCO. And it stands to protect heritage. As I said earlier, promoting knowledge, advancing gender equality, supporting youths, and ensuring access to quality education for all. I know people will ask me how it is supporting youth, how is UNESCO addressing gender issues, and I'm here to share. I'll share, and this is what I'm doing right now. So, but what does it mean to us as young change makers? All these people that we need. So it means that there's a room at the table for us, for you and for me. There are opportunity for youth engagement across all UNESCO sectors. From youth, I feel there's youth forums, UNESCO Youth Forum. They also provide internship opportunities, fellowship, and youth-focused programs to global convention on intangible cultural heritage, education reforms, ethic, ethics of AI, climate action, and many more. So UNESCO does not just want us to observe it. It wants us to participate, co-create, and lead the way I'm doing. I feel I'm leading, yeah, sure. So to do that, we must ask ourselves as young people, what should we do? How should we package ourselves? Not just as dreamers, but as people who are as doers. Yes, that means that first we package ourselves in a way that we understand global development goals like Agenda 2063 and also the SDGs. And also, we have to package ourselves in a way that we're gaining knowledge and skills through one, training, volunteering, but I want to say stress on innovative volunteerism. You just can't volunteer blindly, but you be an innovative volunteer through community work. It doesn't cost you anything if you support the people in your community, and also build networks and collaborate across borders. Just from this conversation, I know at the end of this conversation, we'll be able to build meaningful networks where we can collaborate, share ideas, and see potential areas even to transact businesses. So I feel that is one area that we can package ourselves. Another thing is documenting and communicating to impact community. So I mean, like, what I mean, just like as young people, we are advantaged that right now we have technology at our fingertips. What are we doing with our mobile phones? What are we doing with our computers? That is what makes us different. So I'll advise us to document what we are doing, the little things you do on the grassroots level. A number of people don't do them. Do them, document, share, influence other people to also take part in the conservation, take part in the meaningful conversations. And also staying grounded in our value, but we also need to be open to learning. We know we all have values, and also you also have to respect other people's values, and you also need to stand with your principles and maintaining integrity. So I feel like that is very important area that I'll also have to address. And people say that we are the future leaders, but I think right now they've changed the conversation. They're saying that we are leaders of today, but are we really walking the talk? So the future is not a distant, it is here and it is us. So we have to embrace the challenges that we have. We have to use them as stepping stones to achieve what we want. We have to accept that there are challenges. And just like, let me give an example, just like a cow, or you might have a cow having a very heavy horns, but at the end of the day, the cow will be able to move and make a step. So we can't keep on complaining of our burdens or now of what we feel, but also try to think innovatively and see exactly what we can do to make sure that each and every day we keep moving and not complaining, though we can hold the government accountable, but we need also to know how are we package the information, how are we holding them accountable. That is another question. So our voice matters, and also our work matters. Our presence matters, and that is why we advocate for us to be on the table. So being on the table means we be involved from project ideation stage up to implementing the project on the ground. I think that is the best way we, the young people, can be involved. And there are some key available opportunities at UNESCO. I know a number of people will ask, yes, you are keeping saying we have opportunities, but where are these opportunities? Where do we get opportunities? I want to assure you that there are a lot of opportunities for UNESCO. UNESCO is very big, just from all areas of competence, from culture. There's a call for young cultural professionals to apply the be trained on different areas in line with culture, and it is fully sponsored. I think that one is closed, but there are also other ones. For instance, in education sector, we have an opening that is going on for youth and student for SDG4. It is still open until June. Take opportunity, grab the opportunity, but most importantly, how are you going to package yourself while applying for these opportunities? Because we have to accept that the world is very competitive. Your uniqueness is your signature. What gives you space is how you package yourself and how unique you identify yourself, and you make the application. Yeah, we have to accept that there is AI, but we can't use AI in everything. You can't feed AI to apply for you a job, but you can use AI to make you arrange well on what you want to, how you want to package yourself. So what I will urge us is that the little thing you do on the ground, package them on social media. Once in a while, we ask you to share your link to social media, just to give you, that is just an added advantage because we are able to track what have you done, what are you capable of doing, and how best can we engage you. That is one. So it is opening. I'll advise you to follow our social media platforms. You'll get them there. We post them there on both Instagram, X, and equally Facebook. So there's also intercultural leadership program, which is the deadline is on June 22nd. This is a very amazing opportunity, and it cuts across from youths ranging from 25 years old up to 45 years. So take advantage of this opportunity. Just apply and say that I've been participating in this kind of conversation. Today, I participated in Africa Youth Empowerment Summit. I learned this and this and this. I do this kind of conversation in line with promoting peace, and would like to participate in this kind of project to learn, share ideas, and create a meaningful change. And most importantly, you'll be given also a grant to implement what you are doing on ground. So that is a very amazing opportunity. Another opportunity is Be the Changer, Be Change Maker 2025. And the deadline is soon approaching on 31st May. So it is up to us, the young people, to grab this opportunity. And most importantly, reach out, be ready to learn. If you need guidance, I think there are a number of people who can mentor us. I know I might not be the perfect person to guide you, but I think I have insights that if I share with you can leverage you and give you higher chances of getting the chance. But I can't promise you that I'm going to put you there because it is competitive. So you have to show your unique value, your uniqueness. Yeah. So those are just a few, but of many opportunity at UNESCO. And also as young people, I think it is also our responsibility to commit to be selfless, commit to learning relentlessly, commit to collaborating selflessly, commit to advocating boldly, how should I pronounce that? Sorry, boldly, yes. So advocating boldly doesn't mean that you have to glorify stupidity or you have to glorify injustices. I think you have to stand for integrity and you stand for what is right. If something is bad, you have to say that this is bad, this is right. I think that is a good thing. And also, we have to protect our cultures. I think all of us, you have to respect your identity and also respect other people's culture. The other thing is that we have to embrace innovation. Not that I'm just saying this for you to tell you to. Me myself also. I'm trying to learn each and every day, try to see how best can we use the available materials, the available tools that technology has provided us to innovate for the common challenges that we face. And I feel that if we all collaboratively innovate, I think we can solve the common challenges that affect the globe. And I'm really hopeful and I'm really optimistic that everything is possible if you have the right tools and the right knowledge to approach them. So also I expect us to lead with integrity. That is just as a repetition of what I've just said. Be somebody to be trusted. If something is wrong, say it is wrong. You are not expected to do something right because people are seeing you. I do not expect you. It is not a must that you help people so that you tell people that I'm helping. And what I mean is that I feel like as Africa, we also have to change our mindset, acknowledging that we all, let me tell you, we all have what it entails to develop for development. Here in this conference, I know that there are people who are lawyers, there are people who are engineers, there are people who are teachers. I learn from you, you learn from me, and we build one another. And we can't wait for somebody or somewhere to come from heaven or Europe or anyone to come help us. We have to think innovatively, support one another, and most importantly, be ready to learn. I feel like I've taken a lot of time speaking and have a lot of idea to share. And I'm always ready to learn from each one of you. And I'm always to commit if I can able to help. I can't promise heaven, and I have only earth. And most importantly, let's be ready to support one another. Support me, and I support you. Package yourself online. I recommend you to a job. I recommend you to an activity to participate in. And that is where we can go beyond our culture, go beyond our borders. And most importantly, let me thank you. And I can't wait to learn more from you. I can't wait to listen to other speakers and gain and share much and much. So thanks very much. Keep up with the good work. Let your idea count. Let's build the world that we all want to see in the future. We are here to make Africa great. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Wow, thank you very much. Please let's give our speaker a round of applause. That is amazing what our speaker has said. And let's all put our hands together and appreciate him for the amazing presentation that he has presented. It's been such a lovely time listening to you, Mr. John Linus, and we've taken a lot of note. Because of the time, we are going to delve straight into the next speaker, and I think that Mr. Ponyo is offline. But we have Mr. William Obing Obredu, who is currently here with us, and an amazing man and a seasoned investor, strategic thinker, and a champion of youth-led enterprise in Africa. Right, some years ago, I lived in the same neighborhood with Mr. Oredu, and trust me, for his growth has been phenomenal. He's currently the principal partner at Global Elite Investment. He's a respected voice in the world of investment and enterprise development. He's known for empowering African youth to build sustainable ventures and navigate the complex world of business and finance. Through his leadership at Global Elite Investment, he has helped position startups and entrepreneurs to attract capital, scale their ideas, and contribute meaningfully to Africa's economic growth. And today he's going to be speaking to us on investment readiness, wealth creation, and also how we will be able to even build communities like the Kibera Transformation Project. I had a conversation with him concerning the Kibera Transformation Project, and he is willing to come on board to see how he can also galvanize resources from the diaspora to help sustain the Kibera project. And so, ladies and gentlemen, with a round of applause, let us welcome a very resourceful investor and businessman, Mr. William Obin Oredu.
Hello. Can you all hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
All right. Anyways, due to time, I'll just try my best and then make this put everything together and try and provide the best information so that we can all have a turn and then share our expertise. First of all, I'd like to pay respect to the traditional landowners on which sorry, someone is interfering. Hello?
Yes, you may proceed now.
Yeah, I'll start by paying respect to the traditional owners of the land upon which this summit is held, which is the people of Kenya, the past elders, present, and emerging leaders of Kenya, and onto all African people as well. I'm really excited and very pleased to be on board to share my experience. So, first of all, I will discuss in terms of wealth creation, what we actually facing in Africa, and in terms of what I usually face in Africa, is international policies that has been set down by a lot of international financial agencies, including the US Federal Reserve, the European Central Bank, that is actually restricting the African continent into sourcing funding. And that is what we come in, and myself and my company come in to try and present alternative funding sources. We all know about IMF and its conditionalities, and how it cripples or it limits a lot of African governments. And these limitations run down all the way to young people that are trying to establish something or establish a business. I'll give an example. I was actually in contact with one of the African countries, and we were trying to see how we could, source out alternative funding for projects in that country. And it turns out that the conditions that have been laid down to them by IMF is that they could not even borrow anything less than $20 million. So when this becomes a problem, then it means that people that are dreaming big, if a whole nation, a whole African nation, a sovereign nation cannot borrow or go in for funds that is more than $20 million, then it becomes a problem. So it goes down to how we can look at alternative source of funding that will help bring cash flow into the country, where it will liberate the government from taking loans on the books of the government, and also give other startup companies and other existing and big companies the chance to take advantage of such funding. First of all, what I actually, in my background, I studied ACCA, and I changed from ACCA because I wanted to diversify my portfolio, and eventually got into social law and criminal justice. So what in my years of debt financing and all sort of stuff like this, we realized that the limitations in Africa, which I've mentioned, the IMF conditionalities, is also that a lot of young Africans are not they are not collaborating. And I'm really happy that the person that spoke just before I came on board mentioned like support. Support is very, very important. And I'll give you one example of the support that we need to talk about. So I'm just trying to give my lived experience because I don't want to talk out of theoretical or something out of the book. Sorry.
He's been muted. Kindly proceed.
Hello. Okay. Anyways,
Yeah,
I'll just talk about one of the. Sorry. Is it a question for me or is?
No, someone trying, but you can.
Okay. I'll just talk about one of the experiences, and like I said, I'm not going to be speaking out of straight from the book or theories or whatever. I'm just giving some of the lived experiences and some experiences that I've had in terms of support and collaborative work. So what I will say is, first of all, I don't know how many people know about PayAngel. They are really well established in Kenya. They've got a lot of their reps in Kenya, and it's a fintech, which is a remittance company. So one great thing about support is that PayAngel wanted to come into Australia, but monetary policies, the Anti-Money Laundering, Counterterrorism Financing Act, and everything was because they are coming from the UK and they needed someone. So like one of our sub companies, which is Digicent, we already held their license in financial license and everything. So one person who is a business development officer in Ghana connected us. So we were able to work collaboratively with PayAngel, and they were able to run on our license. They were able to expand their businesses to the shores of Australia and across the Pacific areas. And in the first year, it was really mind-blowing that like a company to come into the area of Australia. Just in Australia alone, they were able to make a sum of around $3 million transaction, which was very impressive. So collaborative work and support is very important. Another thing that young people in Africa, we need to get ourselves familiar with is we need to understand the monetary policies and all the financial policies of the country that we live in. We need to understand, and I mean, most of these things are not taught in schools, and and before you have a proper understanding of things like this, we need to probably educate yourself to some level and have that level of understanding. But we know that most of the times, things, if people that want to start up companies, some of them come from different backgrounds, some of them don't come from financial background, banking background. So it is really important that the government tailors down its policies to target the youth so that the youth can be well informed of where and how to access funds in terms of their the sectors that they want to get themselves involved. And aside that, we also, I'll give an example, in Australia and other part of the world, which is not something that can be, I think is really limited in Africa. Before you do anything, before you go in for any form of finance, start a business, go for a loan, go for a mortgage, you need to know your credit score or your credit ratings. And these are some of the policies that has been tailored down when you come to the West, Australia, US, everywhere. It's been tailored down to the young person when they are ready to start their life. So even when they are not starting a business, when they are not starting anything, even when they want to just acquire something like a car or any form of mortgage or something for the start, they are well informed that they need to build their credit. And these are some of the things that, these are some of the policies that needs to be tailored all the way down to young people, so young people can have a well understanding of what kind of policies are in place, what kind of regulatories are in place that are controlling or I'll use the word controlling finances in the country. I'll give you an example like what I said about the IMF, the Anti-Money Laundering Counterterrorism Financing Act. If let's say I was lucky that I had like a business background and I had an understanding of that, but say if I didn't have a business background, all these things, they've been well tailored down in the country in Australia where I live in at the moment, and everyone, even a young person, have some level of understanding of what the Anti-Money Laundering Counterterrorism Financing Act as soon as they start business, because the bank that they go in, the bank that they open accounts are able to explain to them that, hey, these are the regulations that we use to work with our clients, and we need to let you know that every money that is coming into the account, into your accounts, is regulated and audited. So the banks are able to explain all this policies to the young person that is starting a business here. And another one also that we need to look at is we need to look at other things such as where we can access funding. The government needs to make government funds that are available for creative arts. If a kid or if a young person wants to get into creative arts, then the government needs to explain, the African government needs to explain to them that, hey, these are some of the funds that we can support you with. So any form of businesses, the government needs to work in collaboratively with the Youth Employment Agency, so that the Youth Employment Agency can create awareness, and so that the young person who is trying to create wealth can be well informed about their options, about the risk involved, the opportunities involved. We all know the SWOT analysis, and these are things that really helps. And I feel like things like this are not very well passed down to young people, and it makes a lot of young people find they struggle. Sorry guys, I've got and one of them is with me. Young people struggle when they're trying to start something. Some young people, or some people are very lucky, and they are able to access what we call the bank of mom and dad, where their parents are able to give them something to start the things. But we are talking about people that don't have access. Unfortunately, their parents are not able to give them something, and they are starting everything afresh. So it comes down to policies that are being well tailored down to reach the young person, so that the young person can be well informed and get to know the options that they've got, and then help the young person get the foundation and establish themselves well in whatever they want to do. I'll make it brief so that other people can have the opportunity to talk as well. Thank you so much, everyone. Alfred, I think I'm done now.
All right, sure. Thank you very much for that, Mr. William Oredu. And it's extremely crucial for us as young people to understand that economic empowerment in our age is very good. You cannot have a vision without provision. And so we must also be empowered to understand where the money is and how to explore and navigate the space that can give us money to fund our businesses and startup, and even not just knowing where the money is, but being well versed in whatsoever industry that you find yourself to understand the situation. And so thank you very much, Mr. William Oriedu, for that amazing presentation on the African youth and economic empowerment and also investments accordingly. Also, in due time, we are going to be sending in proposals for the Kibera Transformation Project, and so that you'll be able to see how we can all come together and make Kibera bigger and better as we want it to be. And so thank you very much once again. So without wasting any more time, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to our next speaker. And is Mr. Oponyo back on the call? Is Mr. Oponyo back on the call? All right. I think we still don't have Mr. Oponyo with us. And so I'm going to introduce the next speaker on the list, which is Mr. Andati Morris. Mr. Andati Morris is a partnership manager for the the AUND, and the AUND is the African Union Network of Youth for Development. I don't know if I'm getting that correct, but yeah, I think that's it. And he's at the forefront of advancing youth-led development across the continent through his role at AUND, NYD, and he helps in partnership, and he has been able to work to strengthen collaboration between young people, institutions, and key stakeholders in Africa. And he focuses on ensuring that youth are not only included, but are meaningfully engaged in shaping Africa's governance, policy, and development priorities. So while we've been able to have a conversation around the economic empowerment of the youth, we are also going to be engaging him, who is passionate about promoting policy inclusion, social equity, and institutional accountability for young Africans. And he will be speaking on youth inclusion in public policy for African development frameworks. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Mr. Andati Morris. Mr. Andati, I think I don't know if your mic is not connected. We can see you, but we cannot hear you, unfortunately. While we wait for Mr. Andati Morris to fix his microphone, at this point, if you have any question, you would be able to, you're free to send or post them down there if you have any in the chat box. If you have any suggestions as well, contributions, please be okay to still send them in the chat box so that we'll be able to respond accordingly. So we are still waiting for Mr. Andati, and Mr. Andati is connecting. So yes, so it's been an interesting conversation so far. Mr. Andati, are you on the call? Are you able to connect now? Mr. Andati, I can see you. Yeah, but I cannot hear you. Please, can anyone else hear Mr. Andati? Yeah, so I think his mic has an issue. I can see him, but I couldn't hear him. So again, interesting conversation so far. So while Mr. Ndati is working on his phone, on his camera, let me just confirm again if Mr. Oponyo is on call. Is Mr. Oponyo on call? No, he is not. And so I think that it is okay for us to go to our next speaker, just because of time. So again, he is going to also be presenting in 10 minutes, and he's going to be touching on the role of the youth in shaping the legislative systems that we have in Africa. He has been a very okay, Ms. Ndati, I can see your text. Are you able to connect your voice now? I don't know, maybe it could be your headphones. So if you could disconnect it. Yes, if you could disconnect it. No, we still can't hear you, unfortunately. Maybe you could disconnect your headphones and also check if your device is on mute. Sometimes the device can be on mute as well. And so, good. All right. So once again, I'd love to welcome a very instrumental person who has been on the legislative forefront in Kenya, leading movements, galvanizing people to be able to some way lead, have the leaders on their toes, and also he's one that promotes accountable leadership. Is a young man but full of vision, and I would want you all to help me in welcoming Mr. Benjamin Pascal. Your other name I wouldn't try to mention it. Is it Wanjala, as he leads us through this interaction. Thank you very much, Mr. Benjamin Pascal Wanjala. Mr.
Eli, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, except we cannot see you, but you are audible.
Okay, thank you so very much. In just a minute, I'll be putting video on. Yeah, so this is me, Benjamin Pascal. Nabwana is also actually the name that is giving you a difficult time to pronounce. Yeah, so I'm really grateful for the opportunity this afternoon to speak to us. And this is an incredible opportunity and the space that we have as young people across Africa to just come together and do share quite a lot on what needs to be done at this particular moment, because for a long period, we have been having these conversations, these dialogues. Trust me, this summit is not the first one, and probably might not be the last one. But what we take pride in is that we are having these conversations, and we keep having them so that we can be able to attain what we really want to see, and that is change in our communities. And that change also does include making sure that young people are actually involved. They are stakeholders to be part of the decisions that are made. These decisions are those ones that actually does impact their lives. So I'm sharing briefly. I have quite a lot to talk about, but because of time, I will try to see how I can be able to make these short. So I was given to touch on youth-led policy frameworks in the digital age. So for my end, I'm looking at that, and I've added something which reads building the table and not just waiting for a seat. So fellow youth leaders, brothers and sisters of Africa, I greet you with hope, not the passive kind, but the kind that burns into actions, to solutions and to policy, because for too long, summits like these ones have been able to give us space to speak. But the problem has been not to act. This means we've gathered, we've done recommendations with them. We have actually done, we have envisioned, but oftenly we've not been able to implement. Or if we have, then there has been something somewhere that has actually not been able to work properly. And my wish through this summit, with everything that we've really discussed about, is that we have these come to an end. So quickly, let me just briefly touch on understanding youth-led policy frameworks in the digital age. That is a wholesome word, or rather it appears to be a statement, but to simplify it, it's just basically a youth-led policy framework, which means young people are not just stakeholders, but they are architects, meaning they set the agenda, they develop solutions, and they actually implement them. So the digital age has moved people that we call gatekeepers. You know, we had to go through someone for anything that we are trying to advocate for to actually go through. And nowadays, through technology, we can crowdsource ideas, we can mobilize at scale, and even draft and push legislation using platforms like change.org. I believe you guys have come across it, where people come up with petitions and they garner the people's support and push for these reforms to actually happen. We have tools like open governance tools. We have platforms like WhatsApp groups. We have social media movements. And we also are having virtual parliaments. This is where also the Youth Parliament of Kenya, the organization that I work with, has been able to see across the African continent, where young people are actually taking shape to charter their own cause. We have the Ghana Youth Parliament, we have Nigerian Youth Parliament. I think Eli will agree with me on that. And so basically, we are taking that opportunity because the gatekeepers have been removed, and that is because of the digital age. Now, when we talk about youth policy-led frameworks, it's very important for us to understand that a framework is more than a moment, because it has to have certain elements. And I'm going to mention 4 elements that makes up a framework. Number one is that a policy framework needs to be structured. That means it needs to be with defined processes for input, for revision, and for action. The second element of it is that it needs to be localized. That means it must be relevant to our counties, our communities, the cities that we live in, and also nations at large. And number 3 element is that it has to be scalable, meaning it must be designed to replicate and adapt across borders. If you come up with a policy framework, let it be something that can work across borders, not just limited within a particular scope. The 4th element is that that framework has to be accountable. That means it has to be built with tracking, with transparency, and with civic pressure tools. Now, let me just mention within a minute the crisis of policy summits that end up without actions. Across Africa, as I've mentioned, thousands of youth summits are hosted each year. But my question is, how many result in, number 1, national bills? How many of those summits result in budget allocations? And how many of those result in institutional reforms? Not just resulting in, but also actions that eventually gets implemented. So the problem is not that we are not speaking. It's that there is no continuity, okay? There is no consistent follow-up mechanism and no youth-led body demanding executions. And if there were, please forgive me, we wouldn't be having this conversation. The fact that we are still having this conversation means that something was meant to work, but it did not. Now, the truth is we've been treated, especially young people, we've been treated as guests in spaces where we should be hosts. But a guest, as you know, cannot dictate the menu they are offered. They just consume what they are given. That's why youth across Africa have started building their own tables. Now, I'm going to mention a case study of what has happened within youth-led policy. In the year 2012, in Senegal, a group of youth activists, journalists, and rappers, like right now in this particular summit, we have Octopizzo from Kenya, who will also be speaking probably. This particular group of young individuals formed what they call it Yen Amar. I don't know how to pronounce it, but the basic interpretation of it meant we are fed up during the 2012 elections. What they did is that they utilized the music, digital platforms, and street mobilization to raise political awareness, getting young people to register and vote, and pressure politicians to actually adhere to what was needed to be changed. Now, the outcome of that, what happened was that there were over 300,000 new youth voters that were registered. They also pressured leadership to influence the public policy. And they sustained the engagement, not just to that election period, but after the elections, that continued having the youth-led policy framework implementation, and also had what we call the policy watchdogs. So the Senegalese youth didn't wait to be consulted. They consulted each other. That is why many of us in different countries across Africa, we have one specific problem. We are always saying that we have been we have been excluded from the table that has discussions and negotiations of very impactful policies, things that are spoken and deliberated and implemented, yet they directly affect us, but we are not on that particular table to contribute towards it. So these young people did not wait to be consulted. They did consult among each other, just like we are doing. They decided to create the movement that could not be ignored. So from a Kenyan perspective and what we are doing at the Youth Parliament of Kenya, which is a fast-rising national youth-formed and youth-led movement, this is not just talking about change. What we are doing is that we are organizing for change. Now, what we are doing with the Youth Parliament of Kenya, number one, looking at the structure of governance that we have, we are simulating exactly what we do have in the national governance. But what we are doing through that is to simulate legislative processes for young people, because we want to have young people get the practical aspect of policy making when they are ready to do it. Number two, we are drafting policy recommendations, and I've been working on that alongside some other leaders in the Youth Parliament of Kenya, because we want to make sure that youth participation in politics, mental health, job creation, leadership and governance, smart farming and climate change, and digital inclusion is done from the youth perspective. We have seen what the government has done, and we really appreciate the contributions that it has made. But to be able to achieve what we have has got to take more than just the government. We need everyone on board. And that's why we as young people are offering ourselves through the Youth Parliament of Kenya to steer and charter that cause, and pray that we get all the young people to come on board and push for this. The third thing we are doing in the Youth Parliament of Kenya is to engage relevant government agencies. And in the past few months, we have actually done that. For example, we've gone to one of the government agencies called NACADA. This is it deals with drug enforcement issues, and on this, what we're trying to achieve here is to make sure that we have whatever we come up from the youth-led policy frameworks. We want these ones to be adopted by these government agencies, because in as much as they are doing their research, putting their work resources into it, the people that are being affected by these are as young people. And we have the reach to the grassroots, and we understand if there are solutions to be implemented, to get solutions, to get these particular challenges addressed, then they need to be customized to actually something that is effective enough. Sitting at the boardrooms and planning without including the grassroots is not actually resulting in anything impactful, and that's what we are working on. The second government agency that we have approached is the National Cohesion and Integration Commission, NCIC, on matters of ethnic alliances. As you all know, right now, the country, Kenya, is moving towards the next election period. And if you've been watching what has been happening in the political climate, there is what we call political polarization. And this is not just amongst the old folks, it's coming down, trickling to the young population. And this one undermines the peace efforts that we need to actually have. So at YPK, we have already built a structure from the national level all the way to the grassroots to make it easier to start engagements even as we get close to 2027, which is believed to be a year that defines what becomes of this nation of Kenya. The last thing that we are doing is training young leaders who are keen on becoming representatives in the parliament, national parliament, to be able to learn how debates happen, how to deliberate, and how to develop real solutions. And one of the most amazing things that the Youth Parliament of Kenya is keen on is that we have chosen to work on 8 areas of focus. And all of these are actually tied to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs. And so we are building a culture of civic responsibility so that when these particular young people get opportunities or chances of getting into the August House, they know by heart what they need to do. But we are also moving away from simulation to action. And this is what I'm emphasizing on, that in this summit, as we come to an end of it, we need to move beyond the conversations. We need to actually now move into actions. So we are working on a youth advisory bill to institutionalize the youth representation from across the 47 counties in our country. So we are using social media, we are coming up with webinars and digital petitions to build support across Kenya. Now, our target after the official launch of the Youth Parliament of Kenya, which is set in this August of 2025, and I hope, Ellie, we will reach out and invite you, and we hope that you actually come down, is to rally a following of about 200,000 young people by October of 2025. And we want to scale that number higher up by 500,000 by December of 2025. So hopefully by 2027, what we are aiming at is having this number rise to about 2 million. One of the most efficient ways to see results is to rally youth for signatures and push for reforms. Just like I've mentioned, one of the tools is the change.org, where many petitions are put there. So this is what I mean by us taking actions and not just talking about it, right? You put in the work, the energy, and bring young people together for a cause. And when you look through the policy frameworks that are not working, how can we work on ratifying these? And then how do we put it into action to eventually get the results that we want to see? So what can we do to scale up across Africa? Because this is the biggest question. This conversation is not just about Kenya, but now about Africa, across Africa. Now, what I'm advocating for is that we need to turn these ideas into action. And here's what we must certainly and collectively do. Ellie and the rest of the leaders that are here, the number one thing that I'm advocating for is that I believe there are some that have already happened, but because this is a yes, and we want now to utilize this particular platform to actually work on something that is impactful. Number one, I'm looking at us establishing national youth digital policy hubs. Now, these youth-led digital platforms in each country will help to gather real-time feedback and therefore co-create bills with policymakers. And number two, I'm looking at us lobbying for youth policy inclusion laws. So just like the National Youth Councils, we must also advocate for legal frameworks and mandate the youth consultation in policy making. And I'm so grateful because Ellie and the team, this is where you guys are really, really good at. You've already created a platform across Africa, and this is where we can actually utilize that particular opportunity to be able to achieve this. Number three, I'm looking at us creating a Pan-African youth policy coalition, meaning let us get connected from the Youth Parliament of Kenya to Nigeria to the Ghana to any other organizations that is pushing for this with similar other organizations in Uganda, Senegal, Ghana, South Africa, and let us create a continental platform for coordinated advocacy. We also, number four, need to leverage AI, open data, and tech, because using these tools that I've mentioned in policy simulation and blockchain accountability helps us to track and measure implementation and public trust. And the last thing I'm talking about is us engaging the grassroots, because Ellie and leaders across Africa, we cannot, there is no framework that will succeed if it does not touch the young people in the villages, the young people in the grassroots. So it's not just the youth in the capitals, but also the young people in the villages. So as I bring this to a conclusion, what I want to conclude with is that is to say that we, the youth of Africa, are not a problem to be solved. We are not. We are the solution waiting to be trusted. And that trust has not been there for a very long time with the leaders who are already in place. So this digital age gives us the tool our forebearers never had. So we need not to waste this opportunity. Let us draft, let us act, and let us demand. So let this not just be another summit where we only speak. Let this be the summit where we begin to build tables locally, nationally, continentally, because youth-led policy frameworks, they are not dreams anymore, my friends. They are drafts, they are documents, they are debates, and they are decisions that are waiting to be implemented. That's my time. Thank you so much, Ellie. The mic is back to you.
Sure. Thank you very much, Mr. Pascal, for that very amazing presentation on this was so powerful and very interactive. And indeed, we must ensure that we are drafting, and while also drafting, we must ensure that we are acting, and while also acting, we must make sure that we are demanding for what belongs to us, the youth across the continent. Thank you very much once again, Mr. Pascal, for that amazing session. It's been quite a very great session we've had this morning. I don't know if Mr. Oponyo is back or Mr. Andati. Both of them are not back again. I see that Honorable Christopher Alvin Mokaya has been with us this morning. Honorable, I say warm greetings to you as well in Kenya. And today, this afternoon, Honorable would also be speaking. And so it's amazing that he came to support even the speakers in the morning session. And I am also inviting you to also come and support him for this afternoon session, as he is going to be talking about real estate as a vehicle for youth empowerment and sustainable urban development in Africa. Trust me, I cannot wait for that session. He is for the second session that is going to be dealing with business and human rights, and also entrepreneurial pathways for social equity. Trust me, this afternoon is going to be mad, going to be crazy, and I want you to invite as many people as possible to be a part of it. So it's been a very crazy morning, filled with amazing nuggets, wise nuggets, crazy quotes, and I cannot emphasize how amazing the session has been. And so I would open the chat for any question. If there is any question here, kindly let me know. Let me check on the YouTube audience as well if there are any questions. But if there are no questions, what I'm going to do is, because of time, I'm going to invite our speakers to just in 1 minute share with us their clarion call for the African youth in just 1 minute. And so because there are no questions here in the chat box, I'm going to go straight to our first speaker who has stayed with us till this time. And Mr. John Linus, once again, is the chairperson of the UNESCO Youth Forum Kenya. And so, Mr. John Linus, in 1 minute, what would be your clarion call for the African youth?
Yeah, thanks very much. I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear me very well, but I'm ready to learn, and I'll advise us to follow each other and see what we can do together. And let's keep in touch. Thanks, everyone who has joined.
Sure. Thank you very much, Mr. John Linus. Again, he is bent on collaboration and regional integration. And this is the way to go for us to come together and integrate and collaborate. And we have this platform today because associations and organizations decided to collaborate. So once again, thank you very much for that, Mr. John Linus. And so Mr. William Obin Oredu, if you are here with us and you can still hear us, you may please give us what's the call to action for the African youth.
Could you say that again?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, what did you say?
Yes, the call to action, your clarion call for the African youth, in 1 minute.
For me, yeah, collaborative work is very important, support, and we need to find a way to get a balance between how we can support the white collar jobs, the blue collar jobs, and just the normal trader, so that everyone can feel valuable and better contribute to the society and Africa as a continent, because it seems like the whole focus has only been on the white collar job, the doctors, the business students, the journalists, and we forget that there are blue collar jobs in terms of the polytechnics and people that are doing carpentry and all that stuff. And these are some of the backbone of the economy in terms of small scale enterprises or small scale businesses. So we need to find a balance. As we implement policies, we need to ensure that the policies is well balanced to target all these sectors and ensure that these sectors also feel that there's been appropriate response to them. I think you are muted. You are muted.
Oh, so sorry. Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Oredu, for that. And again, striking the balance is extremely important. And we are going to be doing that. We are committed to ensuring that collaboration is rife, and we'll make sure that we will leave no stone unturned. All right, so let me take our last speaker, who is here on the call with us, Mr. Benjamin Pascal. In 1 minute, what's your clarion call and call to action?
All right, thank you so much, Eli. So mine, my clarion call is just to say, today we've not just talked, we have dared to imagine a new Africa, and not just today, but also for the last 2 days that we've been on this summit. So an Africa where policies are not just made for us, but with us. We are looking at where youth are not are not tokens in boardrooms. Sorry for that, just a minute. I'm talking about where young people are not just tokens in boardrooms, but we are trailblazers in leadership rooms. We are not the leaders of tomorrow. We are the leaders of now. So this is our time to rise. This is our time to build. This is our time to disrupt. It's our time to demand. It's our time to lead. And therefore, the digital age is our playing field. And we must code, we must create, we must contribute to policies that reflect our generation's values and vision. As we walk out of this summit, at the end of it, let's not just live with hashtags and photos. Let's live with a mission. Let's take the ideas shared here and implement them in our countries, our counties, our communities, because if it doesn't work at home, it won't work in Africa. So we must start, they say charity begins at home. So let this summit be that finally turned momentum into a movement. Let us go forward, not as scattered voices, but as united African, a youth echoing one truth, that we will no longer wait for the seat at the table, but we are building that particular table, and that every nation must hear us knocking. So what I had just shared earlier on is that let us look into forming this particular watchdogs, policy watchdogs, and let us keep in touch, be able to see what progress has Ghana, what progress has Nigeria, what progress has Kenya done. And if you are also building on the same, what have they succeeded? Where have they succeeded that we are still working on, so that we could borrow from each other and also get that particular support, because information sharing and knowledge exchange is also one of the key things that is going to help us to achieve what we are looking for. It will be rather absurd to see other young nations where young people have actually put on a lot of efforts and they are succeeding on the same issue that other young people can also do somewhere, but they don't know how to begin. So reaching out is how we are going to be able to do this. And now a Yes Summit has already created that platform. We don't need to go and now, begin from scratch. We just take it from here, move forward, and be able to create that particular network that can be able to help us to support our causes all through and achieve what we are looking for. Thank you so much, Eli. Back to you.
Right. Once again, thank you very much for this amazing clearing call. It's very important, and the IS platform that has been created is one that would remain for a very long time. One that is also still seeking for partnerships, collaboration, so that we can do it together. It's not just a one organization view, but it's a wheel that is welcoming other organizations and even more hands to be able to drive the change that we want to see in Africa. So thank you all very much for joining today's call. It has been an amazing session so far, as we have been having conversations around youth voices in civic engagement, media, and cultural influence. And we've been talking to very important personalities. We've heard the voices of Mr. John Linus, the chairperson of the UNESCO Youth Forum. We've also heard from Mr. Owedu William, the principal partner of Global Elite Investments. We've also heard from Mr. Benjamin Pascal of the Youth Parliament of Kenya, among other persons that were scheduled to hear, Mr. Harry Ohanga, aka Octopizzo, and then also Mr. Eugene Oponyo, the Chief Executive Officer, Wazalendo Movement Africa, and Mr. Lawrence Muli, the leader Spectre African Union and European Union Youth Lab European Commission. He'll be joining us this afternoon as well. Mr. Ndati Morris, the partnership of AUYNYD, would also be joining us. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for your time. It's been wonderful having you on today's call, and I cannot wait to see you this afternoon as we delve into a very important discussion around business and human rights, entrepreneurial pathways for social equity. Will be facilitated by our very own Gloria Cecilia, the International General Secretary for the Federation of African Law Students. We have very amazing speakers like Mr. Pravin Foresta Kukeyo. We have Mr. Wycliffe Akaka. We have Mr. Christopher Alvin Mokaya, who has been on the call since morning. And we're also going to be listening to Mr. Thomas Dodge, all the way from Atlanta, Georgia. We're also going to be listening to Mr. Kenneth Bray, the founder of Bray Digital Hub. We're also going to be listening to our very own Mr. Gesimba Atinga, the country director, Falas Kenya, and then also Nana Kosisapon, the founder and CEO of Tribe Pro Consult. Trust me, it's going to be an amazing session and you do not want to miss it. So once again, thank you for joining us for the morning session. We are going to be looking forward to hearing from you and engaging with you in the afternoon. So thank you very much and do have a blessed morning and see you in a few hours' time.